So today we are gonna go into one of the most important topics of Java, collections. So any idea what do you mean by a collection? What is collections basically?
Single unit of objects.
Single unit of an object.
Oh.
Okay. Any more answers?
Collection framework represents unified architecture for storing and manipulating group of objects.
No, I am asking about definition, not the properties. What do you mean by collections?
Set of objects.
Set of objects. No. What is collection? First ever question is what is collections? Collection is a framework, okay, which is used to store and process data. Are we clear? Collection is
Yes, sir.
nothing but a framework which is used to store and manipulate the data. Okay. So the next part that comes into place is how can you store a data? In what kind of things can you store a data? So if you want to store a liquid property, you will store it in a bottle or you'll store it in a can. If you want to store some books, you'll put it in a box, right? Like that. If you what are the types you have in collections? So in collections we have four different types: set, list, queue, dequeue, and even map is also a part of the collections framework. What why it is separate, what and all, we will see it when we come to map, and we'll go one by one on these. Okay. So first and the foremost property is a list, which is basically extended by our array list. Okay. So we'll take up an array in the form of a list and we'll start doing some operations. So how do we basically initiate our array list? That is our first question. I've created already a package for collections. Let me just create a class for this and let me create a class. Let the class name be app. Okay. And this app will be having our main method. Now, so I want to access this list on all the throughout the class. So to access something, anything throughout the class, what should I do? I'm asking you. To access a variable throughout the class, what should I do?
We can create an object first.
To mark any variable as static. Okay. You mark anything as static, you can use the static element throughout the class. Okay. So I'm creating an array list. So in this array list, we have already gone through array in our previous session where we have said that array will take only a single type. Even a array list also will take only a single type. So here, let me mention it as string. So what is this diamond? Diamond symbols, diamond arrow marks. So that is the part where generics come into place. Okay, what is the diamond arrow mark and all, we'll explain, we'll go in detail, we'll know about all those things when we go to generics. For now we are telling that this array list is a string type. Are we clear till this point? So I created a list called names. In this I'm just saying that new array list and then semicolon. Done. Now here basically I am having a list, okay, and that name of the list is names. And do I have any elements inside the names? Do I have any elements inside the names?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, we don't have any elements inside the names. So we'll start adding some elements inside the names. So to add elements inside a list, we use the method called add. Okay, and here I need to specify a string. Okay, now there is some property, some element inside the list names. The first element is Monish. Let's try to print it out. So when I print this, what is happening? See that we are getting a list. Inside a list, we are having Monish. The same way, let me add another item over here. Let's say in this item we have Nitin. Now let me run this. Okay, now when I print the names in our list or in our array, we used to get its reference, we used to get its address. But in this case over here, we don't get its address, we get the complete list. That is one advantage of using the array list. Clear?
Yes,
Now
sir.
let's
No.
add some more methods. Sorry, let's add some more elements. Okay, now I just added all these elements. Done. After adding all these elements, let me print it out once. Good, I am having all the 4 elements. So can I access a single element from this? So can I say names of 0? It is giving me an error. Okay, it is telling me it is not a list, it is an array list. Okay, if it is a list or if it is an array, you can access it by just having the index. But here, if you want to access things like this, then you must basically say names dot get method, and you must give the index over here, and then you need to run it. Now you are getting the single element. Got it? How we are getting this single element,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, Monish.
Now I want to get all the elements at a time. I can't write it like this: get 0, get 1, get 2, and I don't want in a list, and I want it in a separate way. How do I get it?
Using loop.
Yeah, we can use a loop and we can get all the elements. So let me remove all these print statements and let me create a loop, but I don't want to do it like this. Let me create a method for this, and in this method let me say get all names. Okay, here get all names means I'm retrieving all the names. In this basically I must give a array list. Can I give it like this? Array list of names. Okay, so this will be my parameter for my method get all names. Inside the get all names, I am writing my for each loop where the element is string, as we discussed in our previous class. The element is string, the reference is name, and this will be my names. Okay, names for each element. Then I'll simply print out my name. Done. I created a method to get all the names. So let's call this method and see what will happen. So let me first create an object for this. App is equal to new app. Inside the collections, so I'll say app dot get all names and I'll pass my names. Okay, I'll pass my list and I'll run this. you can see that we are getting all the names, right? Got it?
Yes, Monish.
So first of all, we are creating a list. Then we are adding some elements in this list and we are getting all the elements in that list. So this is part one. So let's go to the part two part where I need to remove an element from the list. So how do I remove an element from the list? So there are two ways of doing this. I can remove an element with the help of the index, as well as I can remove the element with the help of the content, by name or by position. I can do it in two ways. Yes. So what I'll do is, for that purpose, only for that purpose, I'll create a method. I'll create two methods over here. Let the first one will be remove by position. Let's say position. Okay. Remove by position, and this will take one element which will be the position of the list. And here it will basically remove the list, remove the element from the list, names dot. There is a method called remove by position. Okay, here this remove method will take index, so I am passing the index, where here my index is my position. Got it? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Monish.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'll just put a separator over here. I'm drawing a line just for separation, and I'm saying app dot remove the position 0. Okay, then I'll just print all the elements, then I'll put a separator again. Done. So now let me run this. Good. Now if you see over here, first I got all the names from the list. Done. Then I removed the position 0. So position 0, Monish is there. It got removed. Now my question is very simple. I have already removed the position 0, right? At the index 0, I removed whatever it is there. So now what is having the position 0? In position 0, what it is filled? That is the question.
I think it is null position.
Okay, let's, after removing the element here, let me print it. Sorry, let me say uh, names dot get 0, and let me print this out. Okay, now let me run this. Now you see over here, in position 0, what it is occupied?
Nitin.
It is occupied by Nitin. Okay, so what is happening over here? Why it is happening over like this? Okay, so let me create a proper one so that you will understand this. So first, assume that this is the list. Okay, this is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. Okay, I am removing the second index element. So now what happens is, collections by default, it will create another list with the same name and all, but it will have like this. The third element will be pushed to the second place and the fourth element will be pushed to the third place. Okay, it will automatically do this. That is the benefit of using collections and its frameworks. Okay, so when I removed 0, the element at the index 0, what happened is, automatically the element 1, whatever I am having at index number 1, it became 0. Okay, so when you are dealing with array list, one thing you need to understand is array list is a bit slow. The reason why array list is slow is because whatever it is having like this, after removing an element, it has to basically create another list, and it has to push these two values to this and then give you the list. So for this particular reason, the array list is a bit slow. Okay, that is the only con for array list. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now we removed by index. I hope you understood how we are removing by index. Now let me just remove it by the value. Okay, here removing by value means my value is name, so I'll remove by name. Name is a string, so we'll go by string, and we'll say name dot names dot remove by. Here if you can see, here there are two remove methods. One remove method, it will take a string, it will take an index. The other remove method, it will take an object. Okay, so here I am taking the object fame and I am passing my name over here. Okay, now let me go back over here, and after this let me say app dot remove by name, and here I'll pass Nitin. After passing Nitin, I will get all the names from my names, and then let me pass out a separator so that we will understand what is happening. Okay, now let me print it out. So here if you see, now even now Nitin is been removed. Okay, now Nitin was in 0 position. Now Pujita is in the 0 position and Hemlata is in the position number 1. Understood how the remove methods are working?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
now
sir.
basically what we did, we created a list, we added some members in this, and then we removed some members in that. All this is good, but what if I want to modify? Means I want to edit. Assume that I want to edit a name. Okay, if that is the case, how do I do it? So for that also we'll write a method. Just practice anything with the help of methods so that it will be easy for you. So here I'll write a method called modify name. In this modify name, I'll give a name, and this will basically say name dot. So how can it modify? These are all strings. These are all string methods. These are not basically our what you call collection methods, right? Length equal to, these are all string methods. Name dot. So basically how do I do it? So when I say names dot, okay, it must not only take the parameter as the name. Okay, you must tell the collection framework which element you have to change from which element to which element. Means I suppose now I want to change my, I'll take a int, I'll take a position. Okay, now here I want to take a position. Here Pujita is in the position 0 now, so I have to pass 0. Then I have to tell whatever changes I have to make. So when I search over here, set 0 comma, then I must add something. So I'll add Puji. Okay, now I'm changing the name. So once I go back over here, I'll call app dot modify. Okay, sorry, I'm extremely sorry. I should not give my values over here. I should put position over here and I should put name over here. Basically, I'm setting the values over there. And now I'm sending that in value 0, position number 0, whatever it is there, replace it with this. Okay, after replacing it, let me get all the names. Then let me put a separator. Now let me run this. Okay, now if you see over here, what did we do? First we removed Monish with the help of the index 0. Then we try to access the 0th element so that we got to know that the elements got pushed. Then what is happening? Then we simply removed Nitin with the help of the method remove by name. Then I am changing Pujita to Puji with the help of the set method in the collections. Got it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. I hope you are clear with all the methods of array list. There is another one or two methods, we'll see it. Okay. Till now, whatever we have seen, are you clear?
Yes,
Clear,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So basically assume that there is a list of students. There are 20,000 students in that list. Okay. So adding the list we have done. We have added some students in that list. We have removed some students from that list and automatically even the numbers are getting updated. That's very good. Then we modified it. So edit option is also done. But there is one option left. In 2000 members, if I want to search one person, how do I search it? How do I search it? So we need search also, right? So for searching, how do we do it? For that purpose, we'll create a method called search. Sorry, we'll create a method called search, where search method has to basically take a string and then it should do what? Now the question is, what should it do? Names dot. So what should it do? How can I search? Is there a method called search? Let's see. Size, separator, sublist. No, no. I'm not having any method called search. So instead of that, what I'll do is I'll take up a method called index of and I'll pass this. So what happens is this index of is basically returning me what kind of a value? That is the point. This index of is basically returning me what? Index of is returning me a int. Okay. If I get an int in return, if I get a proper value in return, that means that that value is present or else it is not present. Can I do that? Tell me guys, can I do that? Yes or no?
No, sir.
I can't do that?
Maybe no, sir.
Maybe no. So let's give a try. Index of name. So basically this is returning me something. It is returning me a value. So I'll say return. Okay. Once I put return, this should not be void. This should become int. Right. Now I'll go back over here. After this, let me say app dot. What was the name of our method? Search. App dot search. And this I'll put Hemalata. Okay. So this is returning me an integer. So I'll simply say s out. Now I'll run this. I got an answer. But the problem over here is it is giving me the index. So I can't rely on that particular method. So basically I need a method where I can rely on it. So instead of index, I'll simply put, see, it depends upon your logic. If you get an index, if you think that it is correct, then you can search with the help of the index also. So that is possible. Yes or no? So let me see. I'll put index of itself. I'll put a name. So my logic over here is once I get the index, on place of the index, if it is, so once I got the index, that means that it is true, right? That element exists. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If
Yes,
I
sir.
get an index, then obviously if the element exists only, right? I am
Yes.
searching for an element. Okay, I searched for Hemalata. I got the index in return. Okay, now if I search for Monish, will I get the index?
No, sir.
No.
No, I'm getting -1. So the thing is, I can do this. Instead of printing the data over here, I can simply say int value is equal to whatever the value I get over there. Okay, if value is not equal to -1, if value is not equal to -1, that means I can simply say as record found, means that particular element exists. Else I'll simply say as record not found. Okay, now when I search for Monish, you can see that I am getting record not found. In the same place, if I search for Hemalata, now you can see that I am getting record found. That means our search option is working perfectly.
Yes, sir.
So that can be done, right? That's awesome. So that is how you work with our array list. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any doubts regarding array list till now?
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
So
sir.
before we go to the next topic, what do you mean by CRUD operation? Any idea on what do you mean by CRUD operation?
I
CRUD
think
means create,
create, read,
retrieve, not read, retrieve,
update,
update,
delete.
delete. So did we create a list?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Did we retrieve the data?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Did we update the data?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Did we delete our data?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So basically we just performed a CRUD operation. You take any project, anything, the first thing you do is you need to add some list, you need to modify it, you need to add some data, modify some data, delete it, and you need to get that data from the client. So this is what we do in a real-time application also.
Okay, sir.
Understood?
Yes.
So this is what it is called as a CRUD operation, and I hope you understood the basics of array list. Okay, these methods you need to practice by yourself, then only you will get a hand of it. There are more methods in this, so try all those methods once. Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so now let me close this. And what was our next topic? Intro is done, array list is done. Let's go to auto boxing and unboxing. Okay, for that, let me create a package inside the collections and I'll say it as boxing. WWE. Now let me just create a class where this class will say hello. Okay. Now I'm creating a class. So this class is basically having a main method. Okay. So first of all, previously when I'm creating an array list, I created an array list like this, right? And inside the diamond notations, I wrote string. Now I'll write as int. Okay. Now here I'll create a list of numbers which is equal to new array list of int. But if you see over here, it is giving me an error. So what is that error? Why it is not taking int? If it took string, basically it has to take int also, right? Why is it not taking? The reason why it is not taking is these array list or generics or whatever we call them, they basically don't take primitive data types. So you can't give primitive data types over here. So instead of primitive data types, you can basically give the wrapper classes. Okay. So the wrapper class of int is integer. Remember, every primitive type will be having a wrapper class. And the best part is we can create our own wrapper class also. Okay. We'll go to how do we create our own wrapper class in a minute. Okay. So first of all, let me see. So here integer is called as a wrapper class. Okay. So we can create a wrapper. So how do you, not a wrapper. Okay. How do we create a wrapper? So first of all, let me see whether my wrapper class is working perfectly or not. So I can add an element, done. So adding is done automatically, right? When I call my add method, the adding inside this list is done automatically or not? Is it done automatically or not?
Yes, sir.
It is done automatically, man, because it is added. When I print it out, I can say nums dot get of 0. If this is the case, I'm getting its value, right?
Yes, sir.
It means that it is happening automatically. Okay. So what if I want to create my own wrapper class, and if I want to add things in that, how do I add it? So let me create a class. Okay, let me create a class over here, and I'll say that it is a int wrapper. Okay, this is my wrapper class. So inside this there is an integer value which is basically public, and I'll say it as value, or yeah, I can say it as value. Okay. So for this value, I need to, just a minute. Yeah, sorry for that. Okay, so for this, let me create a constructor which is having some values. Also, let me create some getter and setter methods for getting the values and setting the values. Okay, now here basically I created my own wrapper class, and this integer is our inbuilt wrapper class. Okay, so let me put on a multi-line comment over here. Now let me do the same thing. Let me initialize an array list with my wrapper class, which is int wrapper, and let me create some numbers which is equal to new array list. Done. No errors. My int wrapper, whichever wrapper class I have developed, that is accepting all the conditions of the collection. It is not giving me any errors. Okay. Now, sorry. Now if I want to add, you can see that we are already having a add method over here. That to add is from the wrapper. Okay. If I add an element directly, it is showing me an error. See, it is basically showing me an error. So I can't add my elements directly over here. So what I'll do is I'll call my constructor for my int wrapper class, and then I'll pass a value over here. You see over here my constructor is basically setting the value for the keyword value. Okay, so now what happens, now my nums is adding the value 4. Okay, so this is basically called as manual boxing or boxing. Means if I do this manually, this is how I need to do. This is called as boxing. If our system does this automatically, here I am not doing anything. If it is doing it automatically, simply add, then this is called as auto boxing. Adding the value with the help of some other wrapper class, with the help of some other methods, is called as boxing. Instead of using the add method, inside the add method, if I use any other things, then it is called as boxing. Am I clear?
Clear,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, don't worry about this int wrapper class. As far as I know, we never create our own wrapper classes and use. Okay, that is basically not possible, so you don't need to worry about that. Only thing is you need to understand what is boxing and what is unboxing. So here boxing is adding up some values to a list, but not in a regular manner, but in a different manner with the help of some other methods. So now here if I want to even get my values also, I can't directly simply say get. If I say get of 0, basically it will not accept. So when I run this, basically what is happening, you see over here I am getting some reference, I am not getting the value. So if I want to get the value of it, then I must use the get value, the getter method from this class. Now if I run this, I'll get the answer. Okay, this particular way of getting the value is called as unboxing. Okay, so both our boxing and unboxing are basically done by our generics over here with the help of collections. Before, not now, before we used to do like this, but now everything is automated with the help of Java. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Okay, so you want another example on this?
Yes, sir.
So let's take another list where this list is taking a double. Okay, double, and let us say this is taking some elements. I'll simply put as elements, which is equal to new array list. Okay, so elements dot add, basically I can add directly. Okay, this is a normal way of adding, but what are the other way? This is auto boxing, right? How can I do boxing? So elements dot add new double, and I can pass a value over here. See, it is giving me a warning that this method is basically deprecated and removed. Means we are not using this method now. This method exists, but we are not using this. This has been removed. Okay. After removing this only, we came to this. Okay. So this is one way. There is another way. Elements dot add. So here, how can I do it? There are some methods for this. Double dot. Okay, I can put a value of, and then I can provide a value over here. Okay, this is also possible. Okay, see, it is showing me that it is using unnecessary boxing. Okay, these two ways are basically the boxing ways. Okay, this boxing is basically not necessary. Now we have updated everything and we are directly getting with this method. So these two are unnecessary. These are basically adding. So how do I get there is a method, or what I can say, get dot double value. So when I pass a 0 over here, it will not give me any errors. Okay, even this is unnecessary unboxing. If you see over here, you will get it unnecessary unboxing. So if you have your own wrapper class, at that time this boxing and unboxing are necessary. For inbuilt wrapper classes, it is not necessary. But in case in future, if you are ever working with something of a new type, at that time you may need boxing and unboxing. Okay. So
Okay.
at that time, it should not be like, I don't know boxing or I don't know unboxing. We know only auto boxing. So it should not be like that. So to understand those logics, I'm just giving you a brief about boxing and unboxing. Okay. I
Yes,
hope you are
sir.
clear with this.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's go to the next topic, which is one of my favorite, stack. Let me create a class for this. I'll say it as high class. Okay. My high class is having the main method. Done. Okay. So first of all, what do you mean by a stack? The question is very simple. What do you mean by a stack?
Lost in first out.
Yep. Last in will be your first
First
out.
out.
Okay.
First in, last out.
First in,
Last out.
last in, first out, or first in, last out. Anything is the same, man. Assume that you are having something like this. You first inserted your this element 0, then you are doing this, then you are doing this, then you are doing this. Okay, so you are basically pushing the data over here. Okay, and from here you are getting the data. So putting the data is basically the push method. Getting the data is basically your pop method. Okay, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
On the top you are pushing the data, from the below you are taking the data. Okay,
This morning.
this is called as push and pop methods. So let me just go here, initialize the stack first. So stack, even stack will take a generic, so let the generic be string, let it be names. I'll take the same examples. So names dot push. First I'm pushing Monish, then I'll again push Nitin, then I'll again push Pujita, then I'll again push Hemlata. Done. Pushing is done. Okay. So now how do I get these items? I created a list. In that list, I added some items. Now I want to get all the items. How do I get all the items? If I do this, will I get the items?
No.
Obviously, it is a list. So I'll get the items. So next, if I'm getting the items like this in the form of a list, that means that I can run a for each loop. It's a normal list, right? I can run a for each loop. So can I say
Yes, sir.
for string names,
Name.
and I can simply print out the name? Obviously, I can do that. So I have added it, I'm retrieved it. Adding and retrieving is done. Can I delete it? So when I am deleting it, how do I delete it?
Pop method.
When I say names.pop, which one will be deleted is the question. Will Monish be deleted or will Hemlata be deleted?
Hemlata will be
Last
deleted.
first out. Hemlata.
Yes, exactly. So basically our last element will be deleted. So I have popped it out. Okay. After popping it, I want to get the list. If you see over here, Hemalata was deleted. Okay. So that is how basically we create something and then we delete something in a stack. Okay. There is another interesting method which is called as peek. So what is this peek method? When you run this peek method, the last, okay, I need to print it. Let me create this and boom. So what happens is this peek method will give me the last input value. Whichever the last input value is there, it will give me that particular element. Are we clear with this peek method?
Yes, sir.
So now
Yes,
what we
Monish.
have? We have a pop, we have a push. You know how the search will work. Search, it will basically return the index. Okay. There is a method called isEmpty. So if it is empty, then it will give you an isEmpty. Otherwise, it will not. Peek element. So peek method. So it will give you the last element of that particular stack. Empty. It will basically tell whether it is empty or not. It will give us either true or false. Add, adding with respect to its element. Add all. So you are passing the collections within a collection. So this is how basically these are all the methods of stack. Okay, just get these methods once. Okay, just run these methods. It is as same as how you run the array list. So what I suggest is, I have done the CRUD operations with array list, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here I have done the CRUD operations, complete CRUD with the help of array list. What do you do is, with the help of stack, do the complete CRUD operations. Okay. You create a list, you get all the data from it, then you update it, means modify it, then you delete it, and then you search for a particular element within that list. Is it possible? Is it possible?
Mm, it's possible, sir, maybe.
Yes, sir.
No maybes. Okay, give it a try, and tomorrow when I'm taking tomorrow's session, at that time just tell me how you got it or not. If you are not got it, it's okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay guys. Thank you.